So in dating, look, I do not think you should have sex before marriage. I know that's a provocative take. I think sex is holy. I don't, and by the way, it's not just a religious take. I actually think that if you introduce sex into dating, then all of a sudden there's kind of like a dilution of what exactly will be the ultimate physical crescendo of marriage. So you can actually make a rational, reasonable, non-religious argument for that. Anyway, that's like a whole other topic that we could discuss another time, but I will defend that. I actually think bring back purity, bring back saving yourself for marriage. Okay, but other things is this. You should go on a road trip with the person you're dating. It's very important. So you should find uncomfortable, high pressure travel situations. That's not just like flying first class to Aruba. And you should try to be in places of discomfort intentionally with who you are dating, and you'll find out a lot with that person. Number three, this is going to sound incredibly sexist. I don't care. If it is a woman that you want to get married to and she says that she wants to be a traditional wife, see if she's actually up to it. Say, okay, treat me, cook me a meal. I'm not kidding.
No, I think that's
like mess.
No. Be honestly, like she says she wants to be a traditional wife. Like, and by the way, be like, does she enjoy it? No, this is important though. Like, and then ask her. No, I'm not even just, is she a good cook? Be like, did you enjoy doing that? Like and she like, oh, I loved it. I loved getting the ingredients. I loved looking at the cookbook. I love the recipe. I love thinking about you when I was cooking the food. You're like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Right. Or otherwise she's like, it was a disaster. It was this. I'm like, okay, well then we might have a little bit, and by the way, I'm not saying that every wife has to cook every meal for her husband, but honestly, a lot of women out there want to do that. A lot of women want to provide for their man in that way. They want to run the house. They want to shepherd the kids. Going into marriage though, I'm a big believer in premarital counseling. I think that there are several questions that are not answered when most people go into marriage that should be answered. And I might freak you out with this because I don't know if you did this.
We did this.
Yeah, okay, great.
I looked at every divorce statistic and we did everything we could
to lessen the chances of a divorce.
So yeah, money is number one, right? Who's going to handle the finances? Here's one that you might not have done that you should do while you're still in the honeymoon phase. Are you going to have an open or closed house?
I don't even know what that means.
See, it's big. So were you raised in a house where a lot of friends came over all the time? Or were you raised in a house where almost no friends came over?
A normal amount. It wasn't
yet, open or closed. It was, maybe like once a week. We'd have like a play date or something like that.
Do you know what kind of house your wife was raised in?
Probably about the same.
Okay, it's an important question because I was raised in a very closed house, right? I know people that are raised in open houses and it's destroyed their marriages. You know the type where they're always having people over? Yeah.
That was my family, yeah.
Okay, so you get that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were to marry a closed house person and all of a sudden you were like, hey, we're going to constantly have a stream of people and you don't talk about that before marriage. All of a sudden you're like, it's total chaos for a closed house person because they're raised in a place where evenings are very quiet. Make sure, this is another important, make sure that you get along with each other, that you really like each other, not just love each other, that you like spending time with that person. One of my favorite words in the English language is like. It's very unique. Only the English language actually has that. Do you like spending time or do you just love that person? That's because liking is like, hey, can you talk to that person 7 hours uninterrupted on a park bench if you needed to? Or is it just kind of like an annoyance and is it just purely physical? Other questions and other pieces of advice that I think are really important. In-laws matter. They really do. They shouldn't always necessarily be deal breakers, but boy, you should know the in-laws because, your wife will take the form of the mother more times than not. So you should at least get along with your in-law, kind of know the in-law. Children, how many children? When are you going to have children? Is it a priority? Will it be early? Will it be late? Religious questions. Are we going to raise them religiously? Are we going to raise them secular? Other questions that I think are really important that actually don't always get flushed out. How many vacations are we going to take? What type of vacations? Are we an RV family? Are we go to a private, island family? Are we going to splurge on one vacation a year? Or are we going to do like 3 or 4? This is important before you get married. All of a sudden you're kind of in the marriage thing and you're like, hey, I just booked us a vacation. Like, what? I didn't want to go. That's not because it's different philosophies of time off. Last one, which is the biggest. You want the biggest of all. What are acceptable and unacceptable vices for our marriage? For example, is it acceptable for, the husband to smoke a cigar? Has she smelled cigar before you get married? And does she know what that is? Will marijuana be allowed in the marriage? I would say no, of course. Is it okay for alcohol to be around? If yes, how often? Will you drink on weeknights? Are more than one drink acceptable? Will we drink socially? Will you drink once you have kids? Will you drink around the kids? Here's another question. Will you watch TV at night? Will you be okay if, there's R-rated kind of sexual nudity that your partner is watching? completely off limits for your relationship? I think it absolutely should be. You should talk about that because some couples are like perfectly okay with it. I think it's kind of weird, to be honest, right? These are questions that honestly, all the time that people do not always flesh out before marriage. In the course of dating, though, I could go on for like infinite.
No, I
about
really
this stuff,
enjoy
but
this.
yeah, like
Yeah.
again, we have an amazing marriage. My wife and I, obviously it's not perfect. No marriage is perfect, but we actually like each other. We prioritize date night. We're actually doing it right after this tonight, which is awesome. But I find so often that people in dating don't date with the intent to marry. And when they end up